Good morning, students. Have you finished your prayer? Yeah, thank you. நான் ஒரு நல்லாசிரியர். நான் உங்களுக்கு தாயாகவும் தந்தையாகவும் இருந்து முறையாக அன்போடு கல்வியை போதிப்பேன். நான் ஒரு நல்லாசிரியர். நான் உங்களுக்கு தாயாகவும் தந்தையாகவும் இருந்து முறையாக அன்போடு கல்வியை போதிப்பேன். நான் ஒரு நல்லாசிரியர். நான் உங்களுக்கு தாயாகவும் தந்தையாகவும் இருந்து முறையாக அன்போடு கல்வியை போதிப்பேன். Okay, students, good morning. Take your social science book. So come to page number 3. Today we will see about the human evolution and migration. So that is, how humans evolved from the ape, so the great apes, and how he migrated to different parts of the country. So we will see just overall introduction about that. Okay, va? So before entering into the class, let us recall what we have seen yesterday. In yesterday's class, we saw about the general introduction. So that is, nowadays we are enjoying too much of technology. So that technology was not developed suddenly. So it was because the development started only by our ancestors. So our ancestors laid the foundation for our development. So we saw about that, and we saw about the origin of Earth. So how Earth was formed. Then we saw about the differentiation between archaeology and paleoanthropology. So what is the difference between archaeology and paleoanthropology? Yeah, very good. So archaeology means, so they collect the materials. So they collect the materials used by the human ancestors and analyze the human past. So archaeologists, so they analyze the materials used by the human beings, our human ancestors. So paleoanthropologists analyze the human fossils. So archaeologists analyze the materials used by human ancestors. Paleoanthropologists analyze the human fossils itself. Then age of speculation. So what in age of speculation? Yeah, so in that we saw human only curious in thinking about the who created world, so how organism came into existence, like that. Yeah, so initially, so humans thought it was God. Yeah, so like that all we see, but the scientific foundation, so some of the philosophers, so some of the scientists, some of the well intelligent persons, so they began to think and establish their theory. Yeah, so for example, Charles Darwin, Herbert Spencer, so through their theories, so explain to people that how living organisms came into Earth, so how living organisms emerged in Earth, and Charles Darwin explained how human beings evolved from the great apes. Okay, va? So in today's class, we will see the human evolution and migration. Prehistory, from Australopithecus through Homo erectus to Homo sapiens. What do you mean by prehistory? What is the difference between history and prehistory? Now, history means there is written evidence. So historical period means there is written evidence. So prehistory means, so there is no written evidence. So how they analyze prehistoric period? So just by analyzing the tools and things they got. So analyzing the tools such as fossils and other things. So they analyze the time. So they analyze the historical period. So that was called as prehistory. So prehistory means no written evidence, but they analyze the period through the evidence they got. So the human lineage. So that means, so evolution of humans from initial species to now the modern species. So the initial species was called as Australopithecus afarensis. Yes, Australopithecus, there are a lot of species in that. So the major among that was Australopithecus afarensis. Yeah. So before that and all itself, there is a species called as Ramapithecus. Yeah. So they want to mention in our book, but commonly, mostly widely distributed one was Australopithecus. Yeah. Then from Australopithecus, Homo habilis evolved. Then from Homo habilis, it was Homo erectus evolved. So from Homo erectus to Homo neanderthalensis. So from which the Homo sapiens. So that is our modern human beings evolved. So Homo sapiens, Homo neanderthalensis, Homo erectus, Homo habilis, etc. So they were the scientific name. Yeah. So human being, we tell in English. The Homo sapiens means it was the common scientific name given to our human beings. So who are we? We are Homo sapiens. So human beings were commonly scientifically called as Homo sapiens. Yeah. So first great apes. So what do you mean by ape? So what is the difference between ape and monkey? So the picture shows some of the apes. So gorilla, human being, orangutan, bonobo or pygmy chimpanzee, gibbon. Yeah, so Chinese white-cheeked gibbon. So what is the difference between ape and monkey? So the ape means nothing but tailless monkey. So ape have no tail. Yeah. So the main difference between ape and monkey is, so monkey have tail. So it helped them to climb with the tree. Yeah. So ape have no tail. Yeah. And the apes are more intelligent than monkey. Yeah. So that was the main difference. Yeah. So we are also one type of ape. So human evolution and migration. So how humans evolved from the apes and how they migrated. So first, the ancestors to humans were called as hominins. So the ancestors to humans were called as hominins. So and their origins have been traced in Africa. So the origins of hominins have been found in Africa. So they evolved from those origins. So humans evolved from those origins of hominins, and they began to move to other parts of the world in due course of time. Yeah, so our ancestors called as hominins originated in Africa, and they began to move to other parts of the world in due course of time. Yes, it was told the hominins evolved 7 to 5 million years ago. So the hominins, so who were ancestor to human beings, evolved 7 to 5 million years ago. So 1 million years equal to how many years? Yeah, 1 million equal to 10 lakh years. Okay, so here 7 to 5 million years ago means 70 to 50 lakhs years ago. So our hominins emerged in Africa. Yeah, so how they say that hominins evolved in Africa? Because the skeletons of Australopithecus. So already we saw in this slide, previous slide now. So Australopithecus. So our previous ancestor. So he is one of the. So that is Australopithecus, one of the species of hominins. The skeleton of one such Australopithecus was found in Africa. So the oldest fossil, so the oldest skeleton of Australopithecus was found in Africa. Yeah, so that's why we say, so Africa was the place where human beings evolved. So in Africa, where they found the species of Australopithecus? Yeah, that was in Great Rift Valley. So Great Rift Valley, which is in eastern part of Africa. So before analyzing the human evolution, so let us ask me one question. So what do you mean by the Great Rift? So how it was formed? Yeah, it was formed due to the movement of the plates. Yeah, so already we you studied in geography that the Earth is consist of numerous plates. So Eurasian plate, African plate, Indo-Australian plate, North American plate, Pacific plate, like that and all. Okay, so now as per the continental drift theory, the African plate is splitting. That is, one part of African plate is moving towards east. Yeah, so it is moving away from the African plate. So that's why a rift is formed. Yeah, so the African plate is going to divide. Yeah, but don't worry, it won't happen tomorrow or day after tomorrow. It takes a lot of time. It takes more than thousands of years. Yeah. So in future, African plate will be divided into two halves. Yeah. So that's why the Great Rift was formed, which was found in eastern part of Africa. So India was also once a part of Africa only. So in the Gondwana land surface. So India split away from Africa and coincided with the Eurasian plate. Okay, so that is Sankara land, which was now called as, the major part now called as Eurasian plate. So the Great Rift Valley was formed because African plate is splitting. Okay, so this Great Rift Valley consists of many sites that have evidence for the prehistoric period. So if you see the Great Rift Valley from space, it looks like this only. Okay, so the Great Rift Valley is a valley-like formation that runs for about 6,400 kilometers. So the total length of the Great Rift Valley was 6,400 kilometers. So which run from northern part of Syria to central Mozambique in East Africa. So it starts from Syria and ends in Mozambique in East Africa. The total length is 6,400 kilometers. And this geographical feature can be visible from space. So you can see in this slide. So in the African continent, so near to the green color, so you can find some black color line now. So that was the Great Rift. So it was formed. So because of the splitting of African plate. So hominid and hominins. So hominid means, so it refers to all the species of modern and extinct great apes, which also include humans. Okay, so hominid refers to the species of modern and extinct great apes and also humans. But hominins refers to the close relatives of the human ancestors and their sister species, including Homo sapiens and the extinct members of the Homo neanderthalensis, Homo erectus, Homo habilis, and various species of Australopithecus. Then the humans are the only living species of the hominin tribe. They stand erect, walk with two legs, and have large brains. They can use tools, and a few of them can communicate. That is, hominins can communicate. It excludes the gorillas. So, say, what is the difference between hominid and hominins? Yeah, hominid refers to the apes along with the human beings, but hominins refers to only to human beings. Yes, that was the main difference. So hominid refers to the great apes. So that is extinct, that may be extinct or maybe present, and also it includes humans also. But hominins refers to the human beings only. So it refers to the our ancestors, so human ancestors. So before entering into the other topics, so let me clear one thing, that is, so human beings doesn't originate from a single species. Yes, so there are a lot of species of Homo species, Australopithecus, so from which different kind of human beings evolved. So say for example, so compare Africans with Europe people. Yes, or compare Indian people with Chinese people. So we have different physical structure now. So if you look African people, they were height. So they were tall and height. So and they have black skin. So see the Chinese people. So they were short. So the eyes are also very small. So there are a lot of difference now. So like that only. So human beings. So there are a lot of species of human beings. So because so we emerged from so various species of Australopithecus. So that's why we are looking in different shape and different height and different physical structure. So here the hominid refers to the species of modern and extinct grapes, which includes humans also. But the hominins refers to the close relatives of human ancestors only. Okay, wow. So the hominins can use tools and a few of them can communicate, but it does not include gorillas. So Homo habilis to Homo erectus to Homo sapiens. So Homo habilis, so he was called as handyman because he only began to use hand for making tools. So initially the Homo species used the hand for just for climbing the tree and for walking only. But the first species, the first human ancestor began to use his hand was Homo habilis. So the tools made by him was found in Africa 2.6 million years ago. So that means so 26 lakhs years before so Homo habilis emerged, so they began to make tools in Africa. Then around 2 million years ago it was Homo erectus or Homo ergaster emerged. So they made hand axes. So they made hand axes. So they were found 2 and 1 million years ago. During that time, they spread to various parts of Asia and Africa. So Homo habilis, so they were found only in Africa. So because their tools and their fossils were found only in Africa, that was founded 2.6 million years ago. So around 2 billion years ago, so that is around 20 lakhs years ago. So Homo erectus emerged. So they began to made. So they began to use hand axes. So and from 2 and 1 million years ago, they began to spread to various parts of Asia and Africa. So why they began to spread? So mainly in search of food. Okay, so mainly they move from their place in search of food, or else so maybe they got some danger. So or maybe they may be threatened by animals. So during the time there are a lot of wild animals maybe existed. So they threaten the life of Homo habilis or Homo ergaster, so they began to move from their origin place. Okay, so especially for food and therefore subsistence, therefore safety, they moved from their birthplace, they moved from the origin place. Yeah. Then the anatomically modern humans, so Homo sapiens, so commonly called as wise men, so they first appeared around 3 lakhs years ago in Africa, and they were believed and migrated to different parts of the world around 60,000 years ago. So their migration started 2 million years ago itself, but their migration became more just around 60,000 years ago only. So this slide shows how the humans migrated from Africa. Yeah, so how many years before the human migration take place more? So if you see 2 lakhs years ago, so human migration started in more. So they reached India around 70,000 years ago, like that they mentioned. Yeah, so from there they moved to central part of Asia, then moved to America, Australia, like that. So the human migration is simply shown in this slide. So prehistoric culture. So prehistoric period does not have evidence of writing. So already I told you now. So the difference between history and prehistory. So history means, so they have written evidence. So prehistory means no evidence of writing. So the fossil bones are classified as various species such as Homo habilis, Homo erectus, and Neanderthalensis. Yeah. So based on the fossil bones we got, so we analyze, we classified the human species into various types. So first one is Homo habilis, and the second one is Homo erectus, and the third one is Homo neanderthalensis. So based on the lithic tools, so culture are assigned names such as earliest lithic assemblages, older one technology, lower, middle, and upper Paleolithic, and Mesolithic culture. So based on the tools we got, so we assigned the culture, so prehistoric culture as earliest lithic assemblages, then older one technology, then lower, middle, and upper Paleolithic, then finally Mesolithic culture. So how the human species are classified based on the fossils we got? Yeah, Homo habilis, Homo erectus, Neanderthalensis, Homo ergaster, like that or no? So likewise, so based on the tools he used, we classified the prehistoric culture as the following types. That is earliest lithic assemblages, old one technology, lower, middle, and upper Paleolithic, and Mesolithic cultures. Earliest lithic assemblages of human ancestors. So where you find tools, our ancient people tools. Yeah. So first, the earliest tools made by human ancestors were found in Lomokwi in Kenya. So Kenya is located in the eastern part of Africa. So there they found some of the earliest tools. Yeah. So the date. So when they found the date. So how they found the date? So by using the carbon dating technology. So it was a scientific technology, so which shows the time. Yeah. So based on that technology, so they found that the tools found in Lomakwi in Kenya was dated to 3.3 million years ago. So that is 33 lakhs years ago. Yeah. Then after that they found world over tools. So world over gorge in Africa. So which was 2.6 million years old. So that is 2 to 2.6 million years old. So what do you mean by gorge? So gorge means a river value or a stream or a water value which run between two rock surface. So that is value that was found between two rock surface. That was called as gorge. Yeah. So the tools, old one tools were found 2 to 2.6 million years ago in Old by Georgian Africa. Then, so the human ancestors, Australopithecines, so our first ancient species. So human ancestors, Australopithecus, used hammer stones and produced sharp-edged flakes. So sharp-edged means, so it was very sharp. So they made sharp-edged flakes and also the hammer stones. So hammer. So it is very strong type of stone used to break other stones. So such that so they can make the sharp edged stones. So which is used to cut and tear the fruits or animal flesh they got. Yeah. Then they used the tools for cutting, slicing, and processing the food. Yeah. So they used the hammer stones to break or to break these other stones and make sharp. So flake means a small chip removed from a large stone block called the core. So flake means a small stone that was broken by using hammer stones and was used for cutting, slicing, and processing the food. Okay, ma? So this map shows the earliest lithic assemblages of human ancestors. So Lomokwi in Kenya, then Olduvai Gorge in Tanzania. So both are located in East Africa. So Lomokwi, in East Africa, that is in Kenya, you can find in the northern part. So Lomokwi. So there they found the human ancestor tools. So that was found how many years ago? Yeah, 3.3 million years ago. So they found the tools used by human beings, our human ancestors. Then Old by Gorge. Yeah, so it was in Tanzania. So it was in Africa. So there they found the tools. So which was how many years ago? Yeah, 2 to 2.6 million years ago. So our human ancestors, Australopithecines, so used the tools which were found in those places. So first in Lomokwi, then in Olduvai Gorge. Yeah, so in Lomokwi it was the oldest site where the tools used by our human ancestors were found. Okay, students, so in this class we saw about human evolution and migration. So we saw the difference between the ape and monkeys. Then we saw the different species of our human ancestors. Then we saw where the species, the fossils of our human ancestors found. So it was found in the Great Rift Valley. So where the Great Rift Valley was located, so recall that. Then we saw the difference between hominid and hominins. So what was the difference between hominid and hominins? Then what are the species included in hominin? So we saw that. Then so the lineage of human ancestors. So we saw that. Then prehistoric culture. Then we saw the difference between history and prehistory. Then we saw how the culture was classified. So based on the tools we got, and before that we saw how the fossil bones classified the various species of human beings. So our human ancestors. So like that and we saw. Then we also saw the site. So in which site the human lithic assemblages were found. So the human lithic tools were found. So we saw that and all. Yeah. So in tomorrow's class we saw detailedly about the cultures. So Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Neolithic. Yeah. So in Tamil they say Karkalam. Yeah, so lithic means rock. So Stone Age period. So Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Neolithic. Yeah. So Palaya Karkalam, Edai Karkalam, Pudiya Karkalam. So like that. So we saw detailedly in tomorrow's class. So finish your homework. Thank you.
ரேடியோ கார்பன் டேட்டிங், கதிரியக்க கரிமகால கணிப்பு. ரேடியோ கார்பன் டேட்டிங் சொற்றொடர் அறிவியலில் வேறு சுவாரஸ்யமான விஷயத்தை விளக்குகிறது. செத்தவைகளுக்கான துல்லியமான தேதியாக்கம். சிதைவு என்றால் மூலப்பொருளிலிருந்து எலக்ட்ரான் புரோட்டான்களை தன்னிச்சையாக உமிழும் ஆல்பா பீட்டா சிதைவுகள். ஐசோடோப்புகளின் இந்த கால உரு சிதைவு ஒரு விதிக்கு உட்பட்டது. அரை ஆயுள் சித்தாந்தம். ஒவ்வொரு மூலப்பொருளுக்கும் அரை ஆயுள் வேறுபடும். கார்பன் ஐசோடோப்புகளுக்கு 5000 முதல் 8000 வருடங்கள். அதாவது 1 கிலோ கார்பன் 14 ஐசோடோப். இயற்கையாய் சிதைந்து அரை கிலோ ஆவதற்கு 6000 வருடங்கள் ஆகும். 6 அரை ஆயுளிற்கு பிறகு அநேக தாய் ஐசோடோப்புகள் காலாவதியாகிவிடும். இந்த அரை ஆயுள் சித்தாந்தம் வில்லார்ட் லிபி முதலானோர் 1940களில் பரிசோதித்து நிரூபித்துள்ள உண்மை. கதிரியக்க கரிம கால கணிப்பு நுட்பம் சிகாகோ பல்கலைக்கழகத்தில் பேராசிரியராக இருந்த வில்லார்ட் பிராங்க் லிபி என்பவராலும் அவரது உடன் பணியாளர்களினாலும் உருவாக்கிய கதிரியக்க கார்பன் தேதியாக்க முறைக்காக லிபி வேதியியலில் 1960க்கான நோபல் பரிசை பெற்றார். தொல்பொருள் ஆராய்ச்சியாளர்கள் தோண்டியெடுத்த கல் அல்லது பல் அல்லது நெல் எவ்வளவு பழமையது என்று தெரிய வேண்டுமாயின் அதில் எவ்வளவு கார்பன் 14 ஐசோடோப் உள்ளது என்று எண்ண வேண்டும். எண்ணுவதற்கு மாஸ் ஸ்பெக்ட்ரோஸ்கோபி போன்ற தனி டெக்னிக் உள்ளது. கார்பன் 14 அரை ஆயுள் ஏற்கனவே தெரியுமாதலால் பொருளில் அதன் கணக்கிட்ட அளவை தற்போது காற்றில் உள்ள அளவோடு சரிபார்த்து எவ்வளவு பொருள் எத்துணை காலம் முன் இருந்திருக்கும் என்று தெரிந்து கொள்ளலாம். அதாவது கல் பல் நெல்லின் தற்போதைய வயது தெரிய வரும். சந்திரன், செவ்வாய், சுற்றும் வால் நட்சத்திரம் என சூரிய மண்டலத்தின் பல இடங்களிலிருந்து எரிகற்களாய் விண்கலன் ஏறிய கற்களாய் தருவிக்கப்படும் பொருட்களின் வயதை இவ்வகை அரிதான மூலப்பொருட்களின் கதிரியக்க அரையாயுள் தேதியாக்க முறைப்படியே நிர்ணயிக்கிறார்கள். 2010ஆம் ஆண்டு பழனி அருகே உள்ள பொருந்தல் என்னும் ஊரில் நடந்த அகழ்வாய்வில் ஒரு கல்லறையை தோண்டும் போது அங்கு இருந்த பெரிய ஜாடியில் 2 கிலோ நெல் கிடைத்திருக்கிறது. முதல் தடவையாக தமிழகத்தில் நெல் கிடைத்திருக்கிறது. தானியங்களை காலக்கணிப்பு செய்ய அமெரிக்காவில் உள்ள பீட்டா அனலிட்டிக்கல் ஆய்வு கூடத்திற்கு அனுப்பிய போது இந்த காலக்கணிப்பு வந்தது. அதாவது இந்த நெல் கிறிஸ்து பிறப்பதற்கு 490 ஆண்டுகளுக்கு முன், இன்றைக்கு 2500 ஆண்டுகளுக்கு முந்தையது. கொடுமணல் ஆய்வில் 10 சென்டிமீட்டர் ஆழத்தில் எடுத்த மாதிரியினை பீட் அனலிட்டிக்கல் சோதனை கூடத்திற்கும் 20 சென்டிமீட்டர் ஆழத்தில் எடுத்ததை அரிசோனா பல்கலைக்கழகத்திற்கும் அனுப்பினோம். 2 ஆய்வுகளும் முரண்படுகின்றனவா என்று பார்த்தபோது கச்சிதமாக இரண்டும் ஒரே மாதிரி இருந்தன. அதனால் இதன் காலம் என்பது கிமு 2 முதல் 6 வரை இருக்கும் என முடிவு செய்தோம். இதே போல சிவகங்கை மாவட்டம் கீழடியில் நகர்ந்த அகழ்வாராய்ச்சியில் கண்டுபிடிக்கப்பட்ட பொருட்கள் அமெரிக்காவில் உள்ள பல்கலைக்கழகத்திற்கு ஆராய்ச்சிக்காக அனுப்பப்பட்டு முடிவுகள் பெறப்பட்டுள்ளன. மரபணு இரத்த பரிசோதனை. நம்முடைய வம்சவழியை அப்படியே பின்னோக்கி 5000 தலைமுறைகள் தள்ளிக்கொண்டே போனால் அந்த தேடல் இந்த தாயாரில் கொண்டு போய் சேர்க்கும். விஞ்ஞானிகள் இந்த தாயை ஆதித்தாய் என்று சொல்லுகிறார்கள். கிழக்கு ஆப்பிரிக்காவில் 3.6 மில்லியன் வருடங்களுக்கு முன்னர் நிமிர்ந்து நடக்கும் ஆற்றல் பெற்ற முதல் மனிதன் நடமாடியதற்கான சான்றுகள் உள்ளன. ஜியோகிராபிக் ப்ராஜெக்ட் அனுப்பிய வரைபடம் ஆதித்தாயில் ஆரம்பித்து என் முன்னோர்கள் எங்கெங்கெல்லாம் புலம்பெயர்ந்து பரவினார்கள் என்பதை துல்லியமாக காட்டுகிறது. மதுரை காமராசர் பல்கலைக்கழக ஜீனோகிராபிக் துறை இயக்குனர் முனைவர் பிச்சப்பன் தலைமையில் ஒரு குழுவினர் உசிலம்பட்டி கல்லூரி மாணவர்களிடையே இரத்த மாதிரிகள் எடுத்து ஆய்வு செய்தனர். 5 வருடங்கள் கழித்து இங்கிலாந்திலிருந்து ஆய்வு முடிவுகள் வந்து சேர முனைவர் பிச்சப்பனுக்கு இன்ப அதிர்ச்சி. காரணம், விருமாண்டி என்ற மாணவனிடம் இருக்கும் விசேஷ ஜீன் 70,000 ஆண்டுகளுக்கு முன் வசித்து வந்த ஆதி மனிதர்கள் பஞ்சம் பசி தாங்காது அங்கிருந்து கிளம்பினார்கள். ஆண்டுக்கு 16 கிலோமீட்டர் என்கிற தூரத்துக்கு இடம்பெயர்ச்சியாகி இன்றையிலிருந்து சுமார் 60,000 ஆண்டுகளுக்கு முன்பாக தமிழக நிலப்பரப்புக்கு வந்து சேர்ந்தார்கள். அந்த ஆதி மனிதனின் மரபணுவில் இருந்து ஒரு குறிப்பிட்ட கூறு இன்றும் தமிழர்களிடம் உள்ளது. தற்போது ஆய்வுக்கு வந்துள்ள இரத்த மாதிரிகளில் M130Y என்கிற மரபணு கூறு விருமாண்டி என்கிற இளைஞரின் மரபணுக்குள் உள்ளது என்கிறது அந்த ஆய்வு. இதன் பின்னரே உலகம் முழுவதும் விறுவிறுவென விவாத பொருளாகி போனார் விருமாண்டி. இவர்களின் குலதெய்வம் விருமாண்டி. அதனால் என்ன என்கிறீர்களா? இந்த பகுதி முழுவதுமாக வீட்டுக்கு வீடு ஒரு பையனுக்கு விருமாண்டி என்கிற பெயர் தற்போதும் சூட்டப்பட்டு வருகிறது.